Right, so next up in a series, I'm quite quickly going to call Can We Break a SID212 so you don't have to. This is the SID212 ECU from the last video that was unlocked on the bench with Flex, and then we wrote a demo mod file to it. So now I have the same ECU wired up to the auto tuner tool on the bench, and we're going to go through and connect to this as if it was a ECU we had received and we didn't know was tuned already, to see what happens when it's modified by another tool. Can we read and write it at all? Does it break it? Can we recover it if it does? I genuinely don't know the answers to these questions. It's something we're going to learn today. So as I said, it's already wired up. We've got the power in there, USB to the computer. So I'm going to try and identify this. It'd help if I turned the power on though, wouldn't it? So let's try again. Rookie error. So click identify. So something is happening. So the ECU will be unlocked on first write using the bench protocol, writing either an original or a tuned file. Once the ECU has been unlocked, OBD operations will be available. So it doesn't seem to have made any mention on that screen that anything has happened already. So let's read the ECU first. And I'm going to do a virtual read. And let's save that on the desktop. And I'm going to try flashing that virtual read back to it to see what happens, because this thinks this ECU is locked, and it's not locked, but it's been unlocked by Flex, and I'm guessing the unlocks are different. So once the virtual read appears from the server, we will write this to this ECU and see what happens, and then we'll see if either tool can recover it if it goes wrong. I'm hoping it will just put its own unlock patch on there and write the virtual read, and we'll have a stock ECU and nobody would know. But we're about to find out. It's not happening very quickly, is it? Here we go. So, write ECU. And I'm going to take the virtual read that we just took, and I'm going to say, yes, I would like to write this into the ECU. And let's see what happens. No, we're not. So, could not validate software bootload. This is expected if the ECU has already been unlocked by a third-party tool that replaced the forward key. In this case, the ECU won't be writable by OEM tools either. Okay, so it looks like, we identify it again, it looks like Auto Tuner doesn't break anything. Yeah, so the ECU still identifies and communicates. It just looks like we can't write it with this tool. So it also suggests, because the key's changed, that we wouldn't be able to do a software update on it to restore it to how it was. So let's wire it back up to Flex again, and let's see what we can do there. For the purpose of an ECU we're not worried about, let's do for SID212. So this is the manual on Flex. Move the CAN lines to B1 and B2 by the looks of it. That is B2. So we don't need that one either. Right, there we go. So power ground, power CAN. connect. So obviously still identifies, so AutoTuner hasn't killed it. And Flex can obviously tell it's unlocked because it unlocked it. So I'm going to do update file. And let's just write the same version, so GF. So yes, let's let Flex write that update file to the ECU and see if it thinks it's relocked again. And once it does, or if it does, then let's see if AutoTuner can then read it. So see if this is a way to then move tuning tool. I'm going to let that do that, and we'll be back shortly. Right, so we're back, and it's 98% done right in this update. So will it actually work? Verifying it okay, clearing DTCs. I'm going to connect to this again now and see if it thinks it's locked again, which is what I'm expecting to have happened. Okay. That was the ECU just powered down, so let's click connect again and see what we got. No, so it would seem still locked even after the update file, and I did do off camera changing the software version from the GF software version it was on into an earlier GE as well, and no, the key doesn't get restored. So there's no point in trying with AutoTuner because this ECU has still got the Magic Motorsport Flex unlock on there. So yeah, the takeaway from this is once they're unlocked with one tuning tool, no other tuning tool is going to be touching it unless at some point restoring the key becomes an option on these tools. So yeah, food for thought if you're doing these, particularly mobile, if you've only got sort of one or two tools, if it's modified already, and particularly as these get older and there's more chance of them being modified, there's not a guarantee that you're going to be able to do this job. We will offer installers to send stuff into our office if you can't read it, and we can try with the array of tools we have. We've got KES3 that does these, which was the Pioneer tool, of course, AutoTuner, Flex. I'm not sure if any of the other tools we have do SID212 yet, but basically we'll at least try it on the common tools for you, see if we can help. But yeah, I wouldn't be traveling a long distance to do one mobile if there's any chance that this is being tuned with a tool that you haven't got, because yeah, that's it now. This ECU, at least for now, is forever Flex only. So yeah, bear that in mind. But it was an interesting test nevertheless. My other thing is to mention, AutoTuner didn't seem to break it. The ECU still communicates, so it's not like trying to unlock it when it was unlocked with Flex already has left the ECU and the vehicle dead. So that's one saving grace, I suppose, but it's still not ideal. We'll see how this progresses over time, and maybe if the SID212 landscape changes yet again, maybe we'll do another video.